female, 23 years old, until recently, lived with my mom and half-brother and sister, Mason, 12 years old, and Layla, 10 years old. Mom has split custody with their dad, Chris. When he was little, Mason begged and begged to get a dog, but he couldn't because of my allergies. Mom and Chris split up when the kids were 5 and 3, so when Chris had his own place set up, he got them a dog from the shelter, Hulk, now 11 years old. A couple of months back, Chris was evicted. His new place doesn't allow dogs, and he couldn't find anyone else to take them, so he asked Mom if she could, promising that he would be looking for somewhere that allows pets in the meantime. Mom agreed, without even telling me beforehand. My allergies aren't life-threatening, but they do cause cold-like symptoms that make me feel utterly miserable and uncomfortable. I was annoyed that I hadn't even been consulted. I'd like to note that at no point have I suggested that they should get rid of the dog, and I don't think it either. I know how much the kids love Hulk and how losing him would break their hearts. What I did do was ask Mom to agree to what I thought were reasonable accommodations. 1. He does not set foot in my bedroom or the kitchen. The doors are kept shut. He has no need to go in either room. The back door to the garden is in the dining room. 2. He only goes into the bathroom when he needs a bath. That door is also kept shut. 3. I am not responsible for the dog. If Mom's not there, then Mason and Layla are responsible for taking care of him. I'd put down food, water, and let him out to pee if I was alone with him, but that's it. I would only handle him in emergencies, such as to get him out of the house in a fire or take him to the vet in an emergency. Mom agreed to these, but from the get-go, they were not being adhered to. The kids were constantly leaving doors open, even my bedroom door. I found him in my room multiple times. I then discovered it was Mom too. I came home from work to see her coming out of my room after leaving some clean clothes in there for me and not shutting the door. Hulk ran in and jumped onto my bed where my clean clothes were left. I shooed him out, put the clothes back into the washing machine along with my bedding. I opened the window, then vacuumed my carpet. Mom thought I was overreacting. This continued for a while, and my complaints fell on deaf ears. I started to consider moving out. My friend and her boyfriend have their own place with a spare room they've offered to me before. I turned it down initially because I had things good at home. Mom didn't charge me rent. I only pay a portion of the food shopping, so I could put most of my money into savings. In return, I helped look after the kids. Mom works a rotating shift pattern. A week of mornings, 6 to 2, and a week of afternoons, 2-10. This makes childcare difficult. On the days when Mom has custody, I get them up and off to school on her morning shifts, and on her afternoon shifts, they are now old enough to be on their own for the 2 hours between finishing school and me getting home from work. I cook them dinner, make sure they've done their homework, and enforce their bedtime. I've never minded this. They're good kids. And they don't really need looking after anymore. They're old enough to be left to their own devices. I messaged my friend and asked her if her offer was still good. She said yes, and I made arrangements to move in a few weeks' time. I wanted to give my mom a reasonable amount of notice. Mom wasn't happy about this. She asked what on earth she was going to do about childcare now. I told her that they are old enough to get themselves up and off to school. Literally, all I did was wake them up and see them off. They got themselves dressed and their own breakfast sorted. And they already let themselves in after school anyway. Plus, I'd only be 5 minutes away. I'd come straight away if they needed me. I can understand not wanting them cooking. Layla doesn't know how. And Mason forgets to turn the oven off. But as she doesn't start work until 2, she can cook them something to warm up in the microwave. She just said, "No, they can't," and then trivialized the whole situation about how it was silly to get upset over some sniffles, how she agreed to my outrageous conditions. So why am I complaining? I moved out as scheduled. Mom only spoke to me either to argue or try to use the kids to guilt me. Apparently, she didn't expect me to go through with it. I moved out this morning. My dad borrowed a van and helped me move my stuff. Even he said it's a silly reason to move out. It's not like being around a dog unalives me. At this point, it's not even about the dog. It's about her not treating me with basic respect after I've helped her raise her kids, then using those same kids to guilt me. She keeps calling me, asking when I'm gonna come back. The latest one sounded like she was genuinely crying. She was apologizing and said she doesn't know what she's going to do on Monday. She's in at 6, still refuses to accept they are old enough. I've got family texting me, telling me to stop acting like a brat and go home. How dare I upset my mother who's been so good to me? How dare I abandon those kids? So Reddit, am I the jerk? AITA? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You aren't required to live at home because it is convenient for your mom. And you damn sure aren't required to live in a place where you are constantly subjected to allergens and sick. Comment 2. Not the idiot. She's got a spare room, get Chris to move back in, or he can look after them till one of them is 14. She can also get a lodger or pay someone else. Comment 3. When are those flying monkeys moving in to help your mom? It's the exact same thing, only they don't have to deal with dog allergies. Not the idiot. Now for the update. It's been a month since I moved out, and things have spiraled in ways I never expected. My friend, who kindly offered me a place to stay, got news that they're being relocated for work. They'll be gone in 2 weeks. I'm scrambling to find a new place, but rent is high, and my savings are dwindling faster than I calculated. To add to the stress, my mom called last week, sobbing. My little sister has been having a tough time at school. She's been bullied, and it's taking a toll on her. My brother apparently tried to stand up for her and ended up in a fight. Both siblings are asking when I'm coming back. They don't understand why their safety blanket, their big sister, isn't there anymore. Mom's health isn't great either. She's been diagnosed with a condition that requires frequent doctor visits. She hinted that she could really use my help, but still, the dog is there. I feel torn between my health and my family's needs. The rest of my family is giving me the cold shoulder. They think I abandoned my mom when she needed me most, especially with her new health issues. Last night, I heard that my aunt, whom I used to be close with, referred to me as selfish at a family gathering I wasn't invited to. The weight of their judgment is crushing. It's as if my allergy, a legitimate health issue, is seen as an inconvenience, something I chose rather than something out of my control. I feel guilty, lonely, and lost. I never wanted to be a burden or to abandon anyone, but it seems like taking care of myself has led to just that. I'm starting to question if I made the right decision. The isolation from my family, the uncertainty of my living situation, and the knowledge that my leaving has caused so much pain. It's almost too much to bear. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You're not responsible for fixing all your family's issues, especially when you're just starting out on your own. It's not selfish to put your well-being first. Actually, it's necessary for your mental health. Can't pour from an empty cup. Comment 2. You're the idiot. I get that you're having a tough time, but family sticks together. Your mom and siblings obviously need you. It's about finding balance, not just bailing when the going gets tough. You moved out, sure, but you can still offer support. Comment 3. Definitely not the idiot. Your family's expectations seem unfair, and it's not on you to be their savior. Plus, your brother is capable of handling his own fights, and your sister will learn to stand up for herself too. Focus on your path and stability. Now, for the next story. My boyfriend, 43-year-old male, and I, 42-year-old female, have been together just under 2 years. I have 2 children, both in elementary school. I share custody with their father. Until recently, I was renting an apartment after I split with my ex-husband. I just bought a house, and I am so happy to be creating a new, comfortable home for my children. Getting this home feels like a major accomplishment for me, and I am proud that I can provide a better home for my kids now than during my marriage. I care about my boyfriend deeply, but I am not in a place where I want to live together with a partner yet. We have both been in stressful long-term marriages and do not plan on marrying. We have discussed this many times. He wants us to live together in the future. I told him I want that eventually, but I can't give him a time frame for when I may be ready for that. He gets along with my kids very well, but I am reluctant to have him in a stepdad role for various reasons, mental health issues and alcohol abuse, which he says he is actively addressing. He has a living situation that is less than ideal and has been leaving things in my home every time he stays over. It started with some clothes, now it's a keyboard, guitar, and spare TV. I feel like this is a method of moving in without officially moving in. He has started using the term our a lot. Our house, our bed, our kids. I started a discussion about how it makes me uncomfortable that he behaves basically like we live together. When my kids are at their dad's, he is always over, and I have to basically ask if I can have nights home alone sometimes. I require regular recharge time alone for self-care and don't get that opportunity often. He reacted pretty angrily because he said the terminology ours doesn't matter because we are two adults in a loving relationship. He sees things as ours because he cares and helps out. I see it as him not respecting my boundaries. Am I being selfish and immature because I'm not quite ready to share? Am I overreacting to his use of the word ours? Edit. Thank you to everybody for the mostly supportive comments. Clearly, I have settled into old habits and didn't properly establish boundaries in this relationship from the beginning. I am going to spend my evening alone packing up his things. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He is always over, and I have to basically ask if I can have nights home alone sometimes. Just don't invite him over, and if he turns up unannounced, don't let him in. You aren't in a situation where any of your things are his too. Comment 2. Watch for things like mail arriving in his name. If he keeps pushing, he could gain tenancy, and you will have a much harder time pushing him out. He is definitely trying to squeeze his way in. Comment 3. Info. Why are you hooking up with a guy with mental health and alcohol abuse issues when you have young children? Can't imagine their dad is thrilled about this. Now, for the update, it's been a month since I had that conversation with him about boundaries. I thought we were on the same page, but things took a turn for the worse. My daughter came down with a serious case of pneumonia, and it's been all hands on deck at home. I had to take time off work to care for her, which put a strain on my finances. During this period, I needed my boyfriend's support more than ever, but instead of being the partner I hoped for, he became distant. When I asked if he could help with some basic errands, he told me he felt like I was using him since I didn't want to move in together. The worst hit when the bank called about a series of large, unauthorized transactions on my account. My heart sank as I realized my savings for the kids' education were wiped out. I filed a police report, but the emotional toll was heavy. I couldn't believe it when the investigation pointed towards my boyfriend. He denied everything, but the evidence was against him. We broke up, and he's facing charges now. The betrayal stings deeply, and it's been tough explaining to my kids why he won't be around anymore. I'm back to square one, trying to rebuild what was taken from us and trying to pick up the pieces of my trust. I've learned a harsh lesson about vulnerability, and now my focus is on healing and providing for my kids in the sanctuary we once thought we had. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your ex-boyfriend showed his true colors when times got tough and you needed him the most. It's one thing not to be supportive, but it's a whole new level of low to steal from someone struggling to care for a sick child. You're better off without a partner like that. Good on you for pressing charges and protecting your financial security. Stay strong. Comment 2. You're the idiot. It sounds like you're going through a lot, and I sympathize with that. However, it's a serious accusation to claim he stole from you without irrefutable proof. Financial stress can cause people to act out of character, and perhaps there's been a misunderstanding. It's important to communicate and verify facts before making assumptions and decisions that could ruin someone's life. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. Facing a child's illness is hard enough without having to deal with a partner who isn't just unsupportive, but also potentially a thief. You did what you had to do for your child and your own well-being. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, and when that's broken, especially in such a critical time, there's no going back. Rebuilding trust with your kids and your life is what matters now. Now, for the next story. I invited my 29-year-old boyfriend to my family's Thanksgiving dinner. My mom, my aunt, and my sister-in-law are all the best cooks, so they always take care of dinner and everything. My mom was so excited to meet my boyfriend that she pulled him into the kitchen to help. Everyone liked my boyfriend, and I thought it was a good day, but now my girlfriend is mad at me. She got mad that all the women did the cooking and cleaning up while the men sat around and did nothing. She asked me why I didn't try to help. My mom or any of my relatives never asked, and I didn't want to be in the way. It has nothing to do with women or men. The best cooks in the family make the dinner. It just so happens to be women who do it. My girlfriend said she got pulled into cooking too, and she didn't want to be rude to my mom, so she said yes. It's because my mom was excited to get to know her, but my girlfriend said my brother brought his new boyfriend to meet the family, and he wasn't pulled into helping. According to her, my mom waited on him hand and foot, but my girlfriend got put to work. She's also mad at me because she kept coming out to see me, and she was trying to get her out of the kitchen, but I kept sending her back. I had no idea she wanted out and didn't want to help my mom and everyone. Am I the idiot for telling her she's wrong when she basically made it out that my family treats men and women differently? My mom is a lawyer. My sister-in-law is a biologist. All of the women in my family are educated and have careers. Women are not treated differently or as less than. They just happen to be the best with cooking. My girlfriend won't talk to me or return my messages. She's overreacting, right? I can't see why she's mad like she is. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, they just happen to be the best with cooking. How do you know that? Has any man in the family ever bothered to make a meal? I'm guessing not. I can see why your girlfriend, probably ex at the point, thinks you're sexist and is icing you out. Comment 2. Really? So the women folk did all the cleaning up because they're the best cooks? Get the frick out of here with that self-serving nonsense. You're the idiot. Your girlfriend is right. Comment 3. If men and women aren't treated differently, why wasn't brother's new BF also pulled into the kitchen? Why wait on him hand and foot? You're the idiot. Now for the update. So in the 2 weeks since my last post, things have definitely escalated between my girlfriend and me, and I'm honestly still reeling from the whirlwind of events. A couple of days after that contentious Thanksgiving dinner, my girlfriend finally responded to my texts. She wanted to talk. We met up at a local coffee shop, and she laid it all out. She told me she felt completely overlooked and taken for granted, not just at the dinner but in our relationship in general. She said that my failure to see her discomfort at Thanksgiving was just the last straw for her. I was stunned. I tried to explain my side, but she was firm. She said she needed a break to think things through. Fast forward a week, and the silence from her end was deafening. Meanwhile, I'd been doing some reflecting, talking to friends, and even to my mom about the whole situation. I started seeing how the dynamic at the dinner could be part of a larger pattern I'd been blind to. Then, out of the blue, my sister, who lives out of state and couldn't make it to Thanksgiving, called me. She'd heard about the drama not from me, but from our cousin who was there. And boy, did she have her own opinions. Apparently, she'd felt the same way as my girlfriend for years, but never spoke up because she didn't want to rock the boat. That conversation was a serious wake-up call. But here's where it gets wild. My girlfriend reaches out and asks to meet again. We sit down, and she's different. Turns out, during our time apart, she had been offered a job in another city. A dream job. It was all very sudden, but she was going for it. We had a long, emotional talk, and it became clear that our paths were diverging. We decided to end the relationship. It was amicable, but bittersweet. As if that wasn't enough, my family got wind of the breakup and the reasons behind it. This sparked a huge family debate that lasted for days. It was like opening Pandora's box. My aunts, cousins, even my grandma had something to say. Some supported the traditional dynamics, while others pushed for change. And the kicker? My mom, who had been the orchestrator of the Thanksgiving dinner, took a hard look at our family traditions and made a surprising announcement. Next year, she declared, we're doing a potluck-style dinner where everyone, men and women, contributes a dish. And we'll be hiring a cleaning service to handle the post-dinner mess. So yeah, in just 2 weeks, my relationship ended. I gained a new perspective on gender roles within my family, and I've seen my mom become an unexpected advocate for change. Not how I expected this holiday season to turn out, but here we are. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You showed maturity by reflecting on your behavior and the relationship's dynamics. It's not easy to recognize and admit where we might be contributing to a problem. The breakup was mutual, and it seems like it was for the best since your girlfriend got her dream job. Plus, it's great that your mom is pushing for change and addressing the gender roles in your family. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Just because you had an epiphany about gender roles doesn't absolve you from neglecting your girlfriend's feelings. She had to ask for a break to be heard, and that's on you. It seems like you're patting yourself on the back for realizing something you should have been aware of all along. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Relationships end, and it's nobody's fault when both parties outgrow each other. Plus, your story is a catalyst for positive change within your family. It's awesome that your mom is stepping up to challenge outdated traditions. It's a sign of growth when a family can reflect on its dynamics and make a conscious effort to evolve. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.